Good morning and welcome to Business Angle on DRTV, where we'll update you with happenings in the business world as we look at prices, products, services and the economy, and also bring you conversations around it. I'm Mercy Amersawari, and we will be going over to our interview segment for today, where we'll be analyzing the increase on cash withdrawal limits by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has raised its weekly cash withdrawal limits set for individuals and corporate organizations to 500,000 naira and 5 million naira respectively. In compelling circumstance where cash withdrawal above the limit is required for legitimate purposes, such requests shall be subject to a processing fee of 3% and 5% for individuals and corporate organizations respectively. The earlier limit pegged individual cash withdrawals per week at 100,000 naira, while corporate organizations were limited to weekly withdrawals of 500,000 naira. Our analyst this morning is Pastor Edewo Igedegbe. Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, what's your take on CBN reviewing the policy?
For me, I consider it a welcome development. Welcome development in the sense that it's a matter of policy of government that was real out as far back as 2013, that by 2020 the cashless policy will be a policy of government in Nigeria. But from 2013 to 2020, 2021, it never saw the light of day. So coming on stream in later part of 2022 for the CBN governor coming up with this policy implementation, I consider it a welcome development, because in a cashless, economy, the risk of, attacks and of course the economic advantage, they are so enormous for even the common man. You don't need to risk, that of carrying huge cash along with you. Along with your electronic transfer, you could just do your business and you are safe in your home, other than carrying baggages of money, cash, whereabouts. All of that is eliminated by this cashless economy. So for me, it's a welcome policy that Nigerians should celebrate and embrace.
Okay, do you think we are really ready for this policy with all of the challenges we have with our networks here and there?
No, we are ready. I consider it a work in progress, because if you wait till when you'll be ready, you will never even start anything. So the best time to start is now, and I think as we gallop it, we will see how we make amends in those areas of hiccups, and in a short while we'll just be out of it. You also remember when we came into the GSM era in 2000, and between that time 2000 to almost 2005, the epileptic network was there, but today you have almost all the networks running and spreading across the entire country. So a new innovation like this will come with some initial hiccups, but as we blaze the trail, I see that it will leave us better than it met us. So it's a welcome development.
Okay. Before the redesigning of the Naira, the central bank said that over 80% of the currency in circulation are outside the vaults of the commercial bank. Outside this policy, is there a way this issue can be addressed?
It can be addressed. For me, that's a failure on the side of the government, because government have not been able to match their word with action. How on earth will it be that enough cash will be outside the central bank and nobody is punished for such behavior? That's why I say government is culpable. Government should be able to match their word with action each time. For instance, if CBN controls all our currency and you don't give money to borrow the change, where you have all the other currencies and people go to black market, I frown, and I can't fathom it when in a country like Nigeria, so blessed and endowed with so many of these resources, natural resources, we now have a two-way system. Central bank, you go there, you go to our commercial banks, you don't even see hard currencies, but you go to Bureau de Change, you see hard currencies. So there is a parallel market, then of course there's a black market. So I don't understand that kind of regime. So I believe that with this new policy review of the CBN, I just want to believe how we can use this to put an end to all of those black market arrangements and of course, go through the parallel market and see how we get better, because the parallel market price is different from the black market price. So how do you run two price system in one economy? It doesn't make sense. So I believe with this new policy regime and the new dispensation that is coming in, a lot of things is going to change, which is why I use every medium I have to speak to the electorate, the Nigerian people, that a people deserve the leadership they get. This idea of, you know, sitting down and looking is not helping us. 23 years going to 24 years of unbroken democracy, we still wallow in some very flimsy excuses of government failing, government failing. This is a consecutive transition that has happened for 24 years now, going to 24 years. So I believe that Nigerians should determine the class of leaders that will listen to their yearning and aspiration come 2023 election. Election is 59 days away from today. So Nigerians should be circumspect on the characters of those people that are going to vote into power. Enough of, you know, those rhetorics and oratories that politicians will bundle at citizens each time. Now, with the 2022 Electoral Act, we should use this election to speak loud and clear on the choice of people that we get. People that will be able to match their word with action, implement every law of the land, and not in one country you have different laws governing different sector of people. No. An end should come to that. Okay.
Now, looking at the 3% and 5% processing fee for individuals and corporate organizations, respectively, for those exceeding the maximum withdrawal limit, what implication would that actually have on businesses?
I don't see it having implications on businesses. Okay. It's also a way of government also generating revenue through the central bank. It's not out of place. These same Nigerians that keep crying when the issue of taxation comes in here, they go outside the shores of this country and their income is taxed even more than 50%. But for those clients, the government is working. I mean, their tax is working for the people. All the basic amenities are provided for the people, so they don't feel it paying those tax. But here, we don't even want to pay tax, and we want government to do so much. How will government generate revenue? So for me, 3%, 5% for those who are withdrawing above or doing a transaction above the limit is a welcome development. So government will use that to also generate revenue.
Okay. Now, looking at the cashless policy, where it will be more of e-banking transfer here and there, with all of the charges associated with it, the VAT, account maintenance charges, SMS alert charges, transfer charges, and others, how can businesses actually make profits?
Businesses will thrive. One, those basic amenities has to be there. And those basic amenities will be provided for from the tax that is generated by government. For instance, if light is 24/7, you don't need to go and buy diesel. That is excruciating in terms of cost. You don't need to buy diesel. You have your bills to pay. As you consume, you pay as you consume. That will help to save some of money you apply on diesel. You know how much a liter of diesel costs today. So when this tax that is collected from all of these charges is gainfully applied into providing infrastructure for the country, I tell you, it's going to be a win-win for even the businessman at the end of the day. But whereas this tax collected is not applied into infrastructural development, then it becomes a minus. Which is why I'm speaking to the fact that in 2023, Nigerians should decide on those characters, those people who have the pedigree to turn the fortunes of this country around and not plummet us into oblivion that we're almost diving into today.
Okay. Now, looking at some of the challenges of a cash-based economy such as Nigeria, the Central Bank of Nigeria spends about 150 billion naira on the management of the naira annually, and according to the Central Bank, the amount spent on maintaining the naira has increased by 10 billion naira annually. The Apex Bank has spent 800 billion naira between 2017 and 2021 on the production, storage, transportation, and destruction of the currency. Looking at the cost of production and maintenance of the naira, do you think we should still continue with it?
That is why the cashless policy has come to stay. All of those 800 billion are wastages. They are wastages by the CBN governor and his management. When I read that in the social media, I weep for this country. How do you spend that money? It is after spending it, you are coming to tell Nigerians. Who does that? It's laughable. It's not even tenable anywhere. Because you see now, so many people are calling for the head of the CBN governor. How do you spend such money in managing Naira, the Naira that is not even appreciating any day? So what did you manage out of it? You manage failure with taxpayers' money? That's not justifiable. I don't even want to discuss that, because for me, it's annoying to hear that the Naira that is depreciating day by day, you telling Nigerians that you spent that whoopee sum of money to manage a Naira that is not appreciating, that is depreciating day by day. It doesn't add up at all. It does not add up.
Okay. Now, the purpose of all of this is for us to actually have a cashless economy. What do you suggest CBN should do in order for businesses not to be affected in this regard?
No, for me, I welcome the cashless economy, because it comes with a lot of benefit. For instance, the risk of being attacked when you carry bogus, a huge amount of money is reduced. It's reduced to the barest minimum. Then two, carrying fake currency, that risk is also out of it. If your transaction is e-transaction, you don't have the risk of trading with fake currency here and there. So all of those are benefits that come with the e-economy. So I think Nigeria should embrace the e-economy just as we embrace telecommunications in the 2000s and the early 21st century. So let's embrace the e-economy. In the Western world, it's e-economy. Everything, we use your phone, your data, and you just get on going, instead of carrying the load of carrying money here and there, and you are at the risk of hoodlums here and there. So let's embrace the e-economy. It will help us. Of course, it will also help government in raking revenues, getting revenue from tax, because from E to E, everything is done seamlessly. And Nigeria cannot be living in denial. The world is a global village today. We can't live in isolation. So let's embrace what other climes are also doing. And we are too circumcised to be doing underdog when we can do the technology-driven thing. That's my take.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Edewo Egedegbe, for your insightful contribution. We truly appreciate.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Okay, this is wrapping up our interview segment. We now go over to our business news.
News. The World Bank Group has said that the estimated per capita income growth of 0.7% for Nigeria and the rest of sub-Saharan Africa in 2022 is insufficient to meet the challenging goals of poverty reduction and shared prosperity in the medium to long term. In its new report titled Africa Pulse, an analysis of issues shaping Africa's economic future, the pandemic has induced a lasting impact on long-term growth, affecting particularly the poorest people and increasing extreme poverty. Meanwhile, the federal government has proposed suspension of tax relief and rebates being granted to companies established in locations lacking public infrastructure who are providing electricity, water and other amenities for themselves. In the Finance Bill 2022 under consideration by the National Assembly, the government has sought amendments to the Capital Gain Tax Act, among which seeks to end with construction investment allowance and rural investment allowance, amongst all that. The proposal is billed for passage on Thursday, along with 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Bill and 2023 Appropriation Bill. In another development, a special joint arrangement by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and 30,000 member independent petroleum marketers will lead to mass supply of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, in Lagos, Calabar, Port Harcourt and Ogara, beginning next month, according to reports. The move is part of arrangement by the federal government and stakeholders in the fuel supply chain to find a permanent solution to the lingering fuel scarcity in the country. And that's it for business news this morning. Plenty thanks for being there. I am Nancy Onyebuchi. Back to Mercy.
Okay, and with that, we wrap up Business Angle for today. Urging you to join us same time next week, Tuesday, for a fresh edition. I'm Mercy Sawere.